It's main event time here at the Scottish Rite Temple in downtown Kansas City, Missouri, and we have a rematch for the ages here tonight.
Absolutely, Jeremy Wyatt and Thor Theriot. To me, though, this match shouldn't even be taking place. Jeremy Wyatt already beat Thor. I don't see why you have to do this against purely sour grapes on Major Basin's part, President Major Basin. But yeah, this match is a travesty.
The only reason why that first match happened is because Michael Strider came out and interrupted Major Basin complaining about the seed of Jeremy Wyatt. So to appease him, he said, why don't you fight right here tonight? And it's not the KC title tournament match.
Is that the kind of man that you want to work for, Major Basin, with his sour grapes? You know, you go to him with a complaint, you take the proper channels, you come out there and you ask him and you say, hey, why isn't my client higher seated? And he punishes you by making you wrestle the same man twice. I don't think it's fair. I think it stinks.
Jeremy Wyatt has beat Thor Theriot last time out, so if he beat him once, he can definitely beat him again here tonight, right?
Absolutely, but does that mean, did they play the Super Bowl? Is it best 2 out of 3? No, it isn't. You win once and you move on, right? You're champions, and now he's got to do it all again.
Thor Theriot is making his way into the Scottish Rite Temple here in Kansas City, Missouri, looking to advance in the KC title tournament.
You know, let me ask you one thing about Thor Theriot. Have you ever heard him talk? I don't think this guy, is he a mute? Is he a mute? I've never heard him talk. I hardly ever see him smile. He's mouthing words right there, but I don't hear anything coming out of his mouth.
Thor Theriot is very much loved by all the fans here at the Scottish Rite Temple. He's a man of few words, though. This is the type of guy that let his fists do all the talking for him, and Michael Strider would serve to stay clear of Thor Theriot.
Well, I bet that's right. Yeah, he does let his fists do the talking for him, but punches are illegal. This is wrestling. This isn't boxing. So that means that guy is a no-talent hack because he's throwing punches at a technical superstar like Jeremy Wyatt.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following is a NWLKC Championship Tournament set for one
What do I have
fall,
to do to
and
get
is
Dom Diablo
the main
fired?
event of the evening. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing to you first, fighting to my left out of this corner, from Kansas City, Missouri, weighing 193 pounds, accompanied by Michael Strider, the Monarch, Jeremy
Love him or hate
Wyatt.
him, he's in phenomenal shape right now. He is ready for this match against Thor Theriot.
This guy is in better shape than I have ever seen him. I go way back with Jeremy Wyatt. He
And
looks
to
great.
my right, fighting out of this corner, from Lincoln, Nebraska, weighing 213 pounds, time to hit the panic button, Thor Theriot.
Thor Theriot in great shape himself. You can tell he's prepared for this match as well. It is main event time, and you can feel it here in the atmosphere of the Scottish Rite Temple.
Thor Theriot out of Lincoln, Nebraska. You know the best thing to come out of Lincoln, Nebraska? It's Highway 80 East and Highway 80 West. If you're leaving that town, that's a good thing. Thor Theriot, maybe the only smart thing that he's done is to get out of that hellhole.
Collar and elbow tie up here, and we are underway for our main event of the evening, with ramifications that could reverberate throughout the National Wrestling League all the way to the finals of the KC title tournament.
Well, Michael Strider and Jeremy Wyatt won the first meeting between these two. I wonder what kind of game plan Thor, I wonder if he learned anything at all, if he's just going to be clueless in how to deal with the Monarch and Michael Strider.
Jeremy Wyatt showing his wrestling prowess by taking him over with a side headlock takeover, switches it over. Thor Theriot switches it into a headlock, or a headlock. I can't even think of the dang move right now. Jeez.
Wyatt back to the side headlock. They're firmly in control right now.
Rolls him back onto his shoulders, going for a cover here. Gets a 2 count.
Fans, fans, if you have not got your Fight Club pass, you need to go and check that out at FightKC.com. You get a chance to go see all of these matches at a discount price. You're not going to find anything more fun to do on a Saturday night than come to the Scottish Rite Temple and see the NWO. You're going to see great matches just like this. So if you haven't done that, you need to do that right away. See, I'm a corporate guy.
I think after all those bad things you said about Major Bazin at the start of this match, you're trying to make it up a little bit, Christopher.
Listen, I speak the truth. Major made those mistakes, and I'm the only one that has the guts enough to call him out on it. You're just like a little lapdog. Yes, sir, whatever you want. That's not me, and that's why I'm the best color man in the business.
Nice exchange there by Wyatt and Theriot. Look for Theriot to try to throw off the game of the much more mat-based Jeremy Wyatt. Although Jeremy Wyatt can fly, he can pretty much do anything in the squared circle. But I think Jeremy Wyatt's going to concentrate his attack on the neck. He wants to soften that neck up for the pile driver.
Well, absolutely. Thor Theriot's got a great body. He's in fantastic shape, but the guy's got a 10-cent head, and he might have a glass jaw, so you work on that, and you make him pay for putting in the holds like this. Listen, Wyatt knows what he's thinking. If he has any questions, he can certainly go out there to probably the best manager in the business, and that is Michael Strider. And these two guys have a great game plan. But again, they should not even be wrestling this match.
Snapmare takeover. Michael Strider there on the outside wearing a leather jacket, looking cheesy, to say the least. Michael Strider and Jeremy Wyatt have had their feuds and their wars over the years, so it's always shocking to me to see these guys aligned on this, in the same area, to be on the same page, to be suffering through each other, and it always blows my mind.
Listen, when you fight somebody as hard as those two men have fought each other, you develop a kind of respect. You develop sort of a sixth sense for what the other one is doing, and you find out sometimes that maybe you're just different sides of the same coin, and I think that's what happened with Strider and Wyatt.
Looked like he was going for a pile driver early. It rolls him over, only gets a 2 count. For a minute there, Thor Theriot was going for his Ragnarok Gutbuster and was unable to connect with it. Jeremy Wyatt countered and tried to get him in the pile driver. Both men looking for that little small opening to get the 1-2-3 on the other person.
That was sort of a reminder that, hey, at any moment, if you screw up, I can get you with my move. And then that was a counter saying, well, yeah, but you better get it because I can get you with mine as well. These two men, very, very well scouted. Had their differences in the past. Wyatt certainly has not taken kindly to young upstarts as of late. As you get a little older, you start to appreciate all the time that you've spent in the ring. And when you get these young bucks that sort of come along and they don't appreciate it, maybe they don't show the respect for things that you think they should, that kind of gets underneath your skin. I can completely relate to that.
Going for an arm drag takeover. Nice pin by Jeremy Wyatt. Almost gets a 3 count. Deep arm drag. Drags Thor Theriot right into the mat. Nicely executed by Jeremy Wyatt.
Ricky Steamboat just called and he said that was a fantastic arm drag, and I say I have to agree. Look at him putting the full pressure right there on the shoulder. He's not wasting. He's not trying to find the right pressure point. He knows right where to go. That's the sign of a technician. It's not whether or not he can put the hold on you, but what he does after he's got it on you.
Thor countering into a hammerlock position. Jeremy Wyatt's going to try to find an escape out of this. And he does. Counters with a hammerlock of his own. Both these guys so technically based, so technically sound that they can just switch holds on top of each other. Showing nice striking ability by Jeremy Wyatt. The forearm right to the face.
One thing that Wyatt has done is he has been able to transition from different styles. He blends so many things together in a combination like most folks have never seen.
Back elbow catches Thor Theriot. Looked like he was going for a German suplex out of the corner. And again, Wyatt with a hard forearm strike to the face. Nice snapmare takeover by Jeremy Wyatt.
One thing about Wyatt now, he's never been the biggest or the strongest guy, and he'll be the first to admit that, but he's so technically sound that he gets the most out of everything that he does, and it definitely your opponents will pay the price for as technically sound as he is.
Nice switch over there by Thor Theriot. Wyatt too close to the ropes, though. Has to break the hold by a 5 count. Thor Theriot making sure that he gives Jeremy Wyatt a little bit of space to get back up to his feet. That's true sportsmanship by Thor Theriot.
That's just dumb right there. You're in the ring with a guy like Jeremy Wyatt and you get an opportunity to take a cheap shot and kick him right in the mush. You should do it. I bet you that's going to come back to bite him for sure.
Again, Jeremy Wyatt applying a hammerlock. Thor Theriot slipping out, applying one of his own. These guys right now it's tit for tat. Every move, match for every move. These guys seem to have studied tape on each other, and from their last match, they know each other so well. This is going to be a great it's a great contest already. Nice standing drop kick connects with the face of Jeremy Wyatt, showing his excellent athleticism there, leaving his feet for a perfectly executed drop kick.
Excellent job there from Thor Theriot, definitely trying to wear Wyatt down. That's what you got to do. Wyatt's, like I said, not the biggest guy, so if you can hit him with some high-impact moves, that's definitely going to have an effect on the guy later on, because you're not going to wear this guy out. Look at him. He is in fantastic shape. He's in – everything about Wyatt is functional, and this guy just gets better and better as the match goes on, so you really got to take it to him when you can.
Oh, switches him around. Looks like he might be going for a DDT. Well, he's just got him in a front face lock there. He might be going for a suplex or a DDT. But meanwhile, just satisfied with locking in that front face lock, trying to drain some of that energy out of Thor Theriot.
Thor is so strong, especially at the early goings of this match, that I don't think you're going to be able to hook him in anything like a DDT just yet.
Jeremy Wyatt proving he's a smart ring veteran, holds onto the ropes. Thor trying to execute another drop kick and was unable to do so. But he gets
one that
connects
time.
Connects one of his own right there. Says Jeremy Wyatt spilling to the outside. What does Thor Theriot have planned here?
Again, this is another advantage for Wyatt, having Michael Strider out there. Not a smart move for Thor to go out there. He's out there with two men. You got to believe that Michael Strider is lurking around there and looking to maybe take advantage of the situation. And why wouldn't he?
And speak of the devil,
yes.
there he grabbing on the leg of Thor Theriot, and Jeremy Wyatt capitalizing on driving a knee right to the midsection neck breaker off the second rope. Jeremy Wyatt really is capitalizing on that. Gets a 2 count only on Thor Theriot. What a snake that Michael Strider is. Always has to make sure he's getting involved whenever Jeremy Wyatt has a match. Why can't he just let these two guys go at it inside the squared circle?
Because that's not how you do successful business. When you are part of a team, you work together as a team. You take advantage of opportunities as they came up. That opportunity came up, and it's working out pretty well for Jeremy Wyatt right now. I say that's the kind of man you want in your corner, not someone who's going to stand there and hold a towel or a pom-pom and cheer you on.
Hard knife-edge chops followed up by a headbutt by Jeremy Wyatt. Jeremy Wyatt really can brawl with the best. I mean, we've seen him in the wars with Michael Strider over the years. Like you said earlier, this guy can do it all. He can brawl. He can high fly. He can mat wrestle. And that's got to be hard for Thor Theriot to prepare for. He doesn't know which Jeremy Wyatt he's going to get tonight.
That is absolutely right. You're going to get the guy who is crazed and going to choke the life out of you, or you're going to get the technical wrestler, you're going to get the high flyer, or you're going to get the one who's going to rely on Michael Strider to do a lot of the heavier lifting. You never know what you're going to get from Michael Strider and Jeremy Wyatt, and that's what makes them so dangerous, and that's what I think is going to make them come out on top like they were last time, and the fact that this match shouldn't even be taking place.
Nice reverse elbow into the corner, connects right with the face of Thor Theriot. Jeremy Wyatt's going to look to connect with that pile driver. He calls it the coronation. He's going to drive Thor Theriot down on top of his head, score the 1-2-3. He says the only reason he's back in wrestling, in the National Wrestling League, is to be the first and only KC NWL champion.
Well, you know, this guy, he doesn't have a whole lot to prove in his wrestling career, but he did want to make a statement, and that is that he is the best that this area has ever seen. Arguably, he's certainly in the conversation. There's a lot of greats that have come through this area, but he is certainly in that list for sure.
Really working on that neck.
Thor
He's going for another swinging neck breaker, and Thor Theriot hung on. He's going for a pin attempt of his own. Gets a 2 count. Referee Nick Chin right on top of the action. This is a big boot. Nice STO connects. Going for a cover again. 1-2. Gets a 2 count only. Jeremy Wyatt, so slick, transitions into every single move so fluidly, and that's what makes him one of the best, not only here in the NWL, but all across the country.
This guy has said it before, and he'll probably say it again. Everybody else is playing checkers. He's playing chess. He's not thinking about what he's doing right now. He's thinking about what's going to be happening 5 minutes from now. That's why generally this guy has always been so successful, because he's not thinking about the present. He's thinking about the future. He's thinking about what is going to happen, and he's prepared when it gets there.
Chopping him right across the chest. Jeremy Wyatt maintains this onslaught. And as I said earlier, really working over that neck, really softening that neck up for the pile driver. And his game plan is working to a T right now. Sends him hard into the turnbuckle.
Even fresh, if you get hit with a pile driver, you're probably not getting up. But if your neck is weak, your spine is a little soft from being beaten so much, you're not getting up. And you might actually get your career ended by a move like the pile driver, especially with the guy who is so technically sound and can hit it out of anywhere and hit it with such proficiency. And Thor, this does not look good for you. Thor should have learned his lesson. He shouldn't have accepted this challenge. He should have said, he should have been a man and said, you know what, I got beat already. I'm going to go ahead and bow out of this match because that's the honorable thing to do. You talk about honor and you talk about all these guys who do the right thing. Well, that's the right thing. How come Thor isn't doing that?
Because this is about the richest prize in our sport. This is about the first KC title for the National Wrestling League. And Thor knows that if he gets that belt, his whole career could explode. More money, more opportunity, more everything. Hard right hands to the face of Jeremy Wyatt. Jeremy Wyatt slips out and tries to take the leg out, gets caught with a kick right in the ear, throwing off his equilibrium, and Thor misses a high cross body. Jeremy Wyatt on top of it here, making sure that he is one step ahead of Thor Theriot this entire match. Jumping reverse elbow strike right to the face. 1, 2, almost gets a 3 count.
Thor still has a lot of fight in him, but Wyatt calmly and collectively just sort of gathering his thoughts, looking for his next move, and not in too much of a hurry here to put out Thor. He knows just as well as we do, the longer this match goes on, the more it favors him. So he's in no hurry to get to that 40-minute mark just yet.
Throws Thor Theriot outside of the ring. This is where Jeremy Wyatt is dangerous. Anytime the match spills outside the ring, you never know what Jeremy Wyatt has in store for his opponent, and drops him neck first over that security railing, again working over the neck of Thor Theriot.
Well, we've seen this many, many times. Guys hit that guardrail and their momentum immediately stops. There's no give in those steel guardrails right there, and that's certainly going to take a lot out of Thor. It's only a matter of time, I think, right now until we get Jeremy Wyatt is going to win this match. There you go.
Rubbing that sign in his face and punches him with it right in the face. What a vicious right hand by Jeremy Wyatt. Referee Nick Chin putting the count on both of these athletes, wanting them to get it back in the ring, and Jeremy Wyatt actually abides and throws Thor Theriot back in the ring.
Thor is definitely worse for wear right now. He's kind of on Dream Street. As you look at him, he's holding his neck. That's not good for him.
Stomping away on the back of the neck is Jeremy Wyatt, continuing to punish the neck and shoulder region of Thor Theriot. This has been all Jeremy Wyatt this match. Thor Theriot hasn't seemed, just like in the matches we've seen in the past in the Scottish Rite Temple, Thor Theriot is having a hard time getting a good hard start against any opponent, and especially against Jeremy Wyatt here tonight.
Well, the thing about Thor is that you never know what he's thinking. He's so quiet, he's so calm, that you never know if this guy's fired up or not. You don't know what his game plan is. He takes an awful lot of punishment. You see this guy taking an awful lot of punishment in every match that he's in, but he always seems to manage to come back, and that goes back to his conditioning. But I don't think that his conditioning is going to save him with a guy who's in such great shape like Jeremy Wyatt. Like we've said it over and over again, the longer this match goes, the more it favors Wyatt and Strider.
One thing we have to keep in mind about Thor Theriot, though, is once that switch flips, once he's had enough, he is going to fire up and make anybody who stands in his way pay for what they've done against him.
Absolutely. He is certainly seen to be able to turn it on at any moment that he chooses to. I question, though, why wouldn't he choose to turn that switch on in the first 4 minutes and not take 10 minutes worth of beating?
Slams him headfirst into that turnbuckle. Thor Theriot looks like he's starting to feel it. He's starting to realize that Jeremy Wyatt is throwing everything he has at him, and it might be time to flip that switch.
Well, he better do something quick. Wyatt has been unrelenting on him for the past, 5 to 10 minutes or so. Thor really starting to get worked up now, though.
Jeremy Wyatt trying to slam Thoriterio's head off of every turnbuckle here in the Scottish Rite Temple. Misses a clothesline. Nice forearm by Thoriterio. Connects with another one. Sends Jeremy Wyatt down to the mat. Thoriterio is on a roll here tonight.
In the corner. Big elbow. Hits the other corner. Another
Going
big elbow forearm.
Forearm strike. He's hitting every corner here in the Scottish Rite Temple. Connects with a drop kick and has Jeremy Wyatt reeling.
Hit him very, very hard with that drop kick. Wyatt spilling into the corner as well. Now he's setting him up for suplex. No, Wyatt wisely gets out of that.
Thoriterio needs to maintain that offense, that aggressive offense that he started in order to pick up a win. German suplex connects, and both men are down, and Thoriterio has made his way back up to his feet.
Thor really feeling that second wind right now, hitting Wyatt with a couple of
And look at this, Michael Strider.
There you
Michael
go.
Strider up on the apron trying to distract Thoriterio, and it looks
he
like
might
Jeremy
have
Wyatt
him.
going for a roll-up, has a handful of tights, only gets a 2 count. Thor and gets met with a pump thrust kick.
That's
This
gonna
could
do
be
it.
it. 1, 2. Almost a 3. Jeremy Wyatt almost stealing a victory from Thoriterio after the distraction of Michael Strider.
And wouldn't that be a thorn in President Major Baisden's side if Strider and Wyatt advance in the tournament? He's doing everything he can to keep these guys away from that Kansas City championship, and they're not having it.
Thoriterio again fighting off of his knees, trying to figure out something, trying to put something together to put the Monarch away and to get the Monarch out of the KC title tournament. And I disagree with you. I don't believe there's any bias on behalf of our President Major Baisden. He just wants the best competition here to happen in the Scottish Rite Temple and in the KC title tournament.
Absolutely, he wants the best competition. I'll give him that. But why do we have to have this match twice? He's trying to punish Jeremy Wyatt for doing such a good job, for being not the corporate stooge that so many other people, hint, hint, I'm talking about you, are.
Snap suplex by Thoriterio into the corner after blocking that attempt at it looked like a tornado DDT by Jeremy Wyatt, and Thoriterio looks to be going to the top rope. What is he hoping to do here against the Monarch Jeremy Wyatt? Maybe he's trying to connect with that Swanton bomb. And he misses. Jeremy Wyatt moves out of the way. Thoriterio goes crashing into the center of our logo here at the Scottish Rite Temple, and this may be the opening Jeremy Wyatt needs
He's going for the pile driver
coronation.
right now.
Oh, he backdrops Jeremy Wyatt out of it. Thoriterio almost got caught with that pile driver. And Jeremy Wyatt moves out of the way of Thoriterio, crashes into that turnbuckle. Oh, he just draped him over the top rope, and Jeremy Wyatt takes a nasty spill to the outside.
Strider there to check on him, making sure he can continue. You know they're coming up with a game plan right here.
Of course they are. What is
Here's
Thoriterio
Thor
doing?
Bam.
He connects with Michael Strider and sends him into the security railing on the outside. Michael Strider took the whole brunt of that move there.
Deliberately taking a cheap shot on Michael Strider right there. That's the kind of man that you want to, as your Kansas City champion, a guy like Thor who hits a helpless manager.
Michael Strider deserved it. He was trying to get involved in the action once again, and he got what he deserved. Michael Strider needs to stay out of this match, and he could be going for the Ragnarok Gutbuster here. It could be it. He drives him right into the center of the ring. This could be it for Jeremy Wyatt. Cover 1, 2, 3.
He got him.
Thoriterio beats the Monarch Jeremy Wyatt in what some could consider an upset in the KC title tournament.
Well, if life was fair, they would have a return match. It seems to me that it's one-on-one right now, 1-1. Thor gets the victory here, but Wyatt's got one over on him. But Thor looks like he's going to advance in the tournament. This is an upset for sure. This is an outrage is what it is.
Make no mistake about it, this is not the last chapter. This is not the last fight we've seen between Thoriterio and Jeremy Wyatt. But what is important is Thoriterio advances to the next round of the KC title tournament.
Well, you hear a lot of folks cheering Thoriterio right now, but I bet you none louder than Major Baisden, because he got Michael Strider and Jeremy Wyatt out of the tournament. But listen, I know these two guys, and I think that you just awoke a sleeping giant. You thought these two guys were bad before. Now they're even more motivated. These two guys are upset. Major this is going to be trouble for you. I can guarantee it. I'm not Nostradamus, but I know the future. It doesn't look good for anybody in the NWL when these two guys are upset. Thor, count your blessings. You got lucky, son.
Jeremy Wyatt and Michael Strider taste defeat at the hands of Thor Theriot. Folks, we've had a great evening here tonight, and we hope to see you next time here on the National Wrestling League. Good night, everybody.